Hello and welcome. This is Eagle Eye 621, and what you see behind me is what I am calling the Stone Swirl, a cobblestone generator capable of making over 171,000 cobblestone per hour. Now, this is an upgrade to my previous cobblestone generator that made 137,000 per hour, which in turn was an upgrade of ilmango's simple cobblestone farm, which made 120,000 per hour. I'll take you through how this works, starting from the older design as well as the current design, and a little bonus in that direction. But if you have not seen ilmango's original video, I highly suggest you watch that first, because that will explain a lot about what's going on. And I'll also link to my other video showing this particular farm. Now, very basically, the way this farm works is using a couple of different principles: the speed that lava flows as well as the speed that water flows, in order to perfectly time the creation of the stone, as well as using the timing circuits that you see over here, and ilmango goes into a lot more detail about, to make sure that the stone is moving when the TNT explodes. And when the TNT explodes in the same tick as the block getting pushed, it lowers the blast resistance and ensures that you get many more drops per explosion. So his farm consisted of this module on this side and this module on this side, as well as all of these timing circuits, as well as the TNT setup. And what I figured was that you could actually fit a slice down the middle on either side that would still get blown up and would not interfere with the other stone getting pushed. It's important to know that if the stone does not have a block to be pushed into, then it won't be moving when the TNT explodes, and your rates will drop dramatically. So I was able to squeeze this module in over here and this one over here by adding some extra redstone lines on the inside as well as around on the outside that rely on the exact same timings that this main circuit used. I was thinking about if there was a way to make this even better, and I thought about the blast radius of the TNT. And the TNT should be able to go out at least 5 blocks from the center. Now, this module, the original one from ilmango's video, is 7 wide. And the reason it's 7 wide has to do with how fast the water flows in order to be able to pass under the lava, so when the lava flows down, it makes a stone without causing a gap in the middle. So with that thought in mind, what I was able to do was slide the modules over. So you can see that I added some obsidian here for the TNT to fall on, as opposed to it exploding in midair, and I offset the modules so that these modules are now 5 wide as opposed to the 7. They're still 4 blocks tall, but that they each line up with the center in an offset manner. So you can see this is the center here, and it goes 4 additional out in that direction. Then this is the center line here, 4 out again, center with 4 out, and again center line and 4 out. And because you offset them, you can take advantage of the explosion radius going out this far in all the directions, and you're able to place 20 columns instead of the original 14 from ilmango's design and the extra 2 more for 16 in my original build. Now, I will note that the 120,000 cobblestone per hour from his original design is extremely overkill towards anything you would need, even towards a large server. So there really is no reason to go bigger except to see if you can do it. And the effect of being able to add or have 20 columns instead of the 14 changes your per hour drop to about 171.4 thousand per hour. Now, this design is server safe. Should add one more thing here. I also did change the explosion set. So over on his build, which this still copies, the TNT drops every third stone creation. And it does that by passing this block back and forth between these two sticky pistons. In order to make this work effectively, I removed one of the sticky pistons so this TNT will fire off every other block, and I did change some of the timings here as well, just to make sure the TNT would fall down and not blow up here, as well as not fall down too early and get launched off in one direction by the other TNT exploding. And this is as server safe as ilmango's original design because it relies on the exact same timings as his design in terms of the distances that the stone is traveling, as well as exploding at the correct time. Now, the redstone that I did around here can be cleaned up a little bit. This is more of a proof of concept than something that would be built in a normal survival world, so that you can actually share the signals on both sides instead of having each module get its own redstone line. Now, you can obviously build this in sections. You don't have to build all 4 of these, and roughly speaking, just take your rate, and each section is responsible for 25% of that drop rate, and they are identical modules on all 4 sides with that different output. Now, onto the bonus side. On this module, I actually went back in the opposite direction and was able to squeeze an extra 2 blocks. So you can see this is the middle line, and it's a copy of that other design, except I added 2 additional stone in each direction. And what that does to your output is it increases it to 188.6 thousand. Now, this is not server safe. If you have a lag spike, the tighter margins will eventually lead to some of the stone running into some of the other stone, which means that it is not moving, and it will overall harm the rates of your farm if they do run into each other and lock. And you might even be able to see that happen on my not so good computer running the recording software as well. And you'll see it from some of the midstones connecting where otherwise they wouldn't, because this row right here, and that exists on all 4 of these sides, would not be there in the main server safe design, which you can build. Now, I put these smooth stones here just to indicate that these are not moving. It's just the 2 in the middle. And this also does suffer from when you turn it off, you may run into some issues. And already you can see just by running the recording software, you do run into some issues where this farm will now have much lower rates because this won't break effectively and some of the cobblestone will land on top of it. So let me turn this back off. This one I did move the circuits up so that it did have room to run underneath. But again, this is not the ideal design. It will sort itself out eventually, but you may need to come in and punch some of the blocks just to make it go, which is not good for this farm. So this, the Stone Swirl, is the design that you would build if you want to flex a little bit on your server mates or on your server that you're competing against. Just to give you some context in terms of a collection system, and you can see underneath I just have some lava to not crash my world with too many entities, you would need about 20 dedicated hoppers in order to collect all of the cobblestone that is being generated from this farm. Again, I do recommend you head over to Ilmango's video for the tutorial on how to build the original. You can kind of take a look at my screen in terms of how it is that I modified his, just keeping in mind where the center line is and being sure that you offset them all in the same direction, or else they will run into each other in a hurry. And it is something to watch. Sometimes Minecraft is about can you as opposed to should you. And this kind of build definitely falls into the can you category. But it is something to just watch. And if you've found this video helpful, I would appreciate a like. And for more videos like this, be sure to subscribe. Thanks for stopping by.